Hello and welcome. I'm Master Lama Rasaji, and this is our Tuesday edition of Rasaji Speak. So happy to be with you today. Don't forget, 1 week from today, the early bird special of Nashville tour will be over, and it'll cost you 20% more to participate. If you already know you're going, you might want to go to thecircleofchi.com, click on events, and go ahead and register for that. Also, on the same day, we will begin to launch early bird for live streaming on Saturday. Let's see what our title is today. Our title is Dare to Transform the Power of Showing Up. This guy started the Republican Party behind me. You might recognize him. He's a great president. Some of the people say the greatest president that ever lived. He had a vision that once you work through this strife of the Civil War, that people would start to gradually come together. Right? What does President 45 and this president have in common? What if I told you it was the same soul? That's what they have in common. Would you get a little bit more excited about who you might be voting for in this November? The guy that started it and the guy that wants to resurrect it. If you think about it, it's pretty powerful. Maybe that's why this guy is his favorite president too, especially when he looks in the mirror, right? Does that get you excited? You never heard that before, have you? Because you always hear the light of truth with Lamaji, and you usually hear it here first. It's real incredible when you think about it in this regards. But imagine the vision that he had to do. They called him the mediator of all mediator. And he believed that right and the pursuit of happiness, inalienable rights were important. God, that sounds familiar. Isn't that what 45 is saying? So we thought he was talking the first time, original, only to find out he is echoing what he said hundreds of years ago. Pretty profound when you think about that, right? Nobody but Lamaji is saying that on live, and we'll put this up on other networks for you to hear. But that's profound. I think a lot of people knew that. They would probably look at this individual a little bit different. Think what he accomplished. He wanted to end slavery before slavery wanted to be ended. He saw people as equal as Martin Luther King did. But he saw those people over 100 years before Martin Luther King did. Think about that for a vision, right? To show up and to show out and to stand steadfast in a point of civil war. Ironically, we're very close to that same period now. A lot of people said what will happen in November could be the pivot point of what's going to happen. You might want to consider thinking about that, right? So think about it all along the way. It's pretty powerful when we think about it. Showing up and showing out, taking action like Hanuman. They both have the spirit of Hanuman and the spirit of Archangel Michael behind them, the sword of justice, right? They believe in equal justice, that misjustice is blind. They shouldn't cater to one political party over the other. Does it make sense? Are we living in a civil war where one party tries to assassinate the other party? Where they try to put that party in jail? Where they tried to take them off the ballot from voting? Is that the America that this wonderful president was thinking about? You know, it's really funny. But as much as the Democrats a lot in those days didn't agree with this guy, they respected him. They respected him because they knew that his spirit, and he focused on how great America really is. And it really, really is a phenomenal country with phenomenal potential. But today it's different, right? Today it's as different as the North and the South were in the 18th century, right? You know, what you don't probably know, most people are not the history buff that Lamaji is that South Carolina, even all the way back to the signing of the Declaration of Independence, had issue about slavery. They didn't want to give up their slaves. They just didn't want to do that. And that carried on another 100 years up to they were the last to turn. And yet this man, and there were people like Samuel Adams in the 17th century that had the wisdom and the vision to know people should be born equal with inalienable rights. And everybody should be able to pursue happiness. The Gettysburg Address is one of the most phenomenal things that you'll ever read and ever know. But it's at the core of who this human being was. And the thought that he's back. 45. What did Lamaji teach you about 4 and 5? It's 9. Return back to the spirit of Abraham Lincoln, the guy that showed up and showed out when no one else wanted to, the guy that took the heat from the South and the North, from the white and from the black, when nobody else would do it. That's the Hanuman spirit. That's Archangel Michael, the sword of justice, of real justice, right? When you go to vote this time, do so with your heart and your soul in mind. Don't vote party, vote policy and vote principles. Vote policy and principles. But there's never been a greater president than this individual that understood the right policy with the right principle, with the right morals, and yielding to a power of intelligence beyond any human that has ever lived. That was what he would do as he took his knee every night, him and his lovely wife, in prayer over their bed. That's right. Every night. And that's why that man's being blessed today, because he's back again. Because 4 and 5 means 9, and it means return to righteousness. And it's a call to a certain party to clean house and have the great spirit, heart, soul, and mind of Abraham Lincoln. God bless you, Abraham Lincoln, for everything you did and for what you stood for. Isn't it interesting that one was assassinated with a bullet to the head, and the other one, the same thing recently happened. But yet the angels and the light said all of your prayers protected this person who is now saying, it's the one above who spared me, showed me grace, and showed me mercy. Wow. God bless you. Talk to you soon, and see you tomorrow on Hump Day. Don't forget the early bird at Nashville. Go ahead and get that taken care of today. God bless.